Yeah, you must be bringing us in on all streams, huh, Tom? I see green
I
chat
am.
across the
As soon as I can get
board.
it.
I see the producer boss man behind the scenes as we let everybody stretch their legs, gather around, and welcome to MHI. Here we go. What is going on, Broncos country? A very busy Wednesday in the Mile High City for your Denver Broncos, who, Tom, last I checked, it's game week here in Broncos country. The Denver Broncos square off against the San Francisco 49ers this Saturday. Man, we got a lot of storylines to get to. We've got game week, preseason game number 1. We've got the release of the unofficial depth chart. We want to hear reaction from you. How are we feeling? Are we proud? Are we pissed? Are we confused? We're going to take you through all of that and more, including our very latest over at milehighhuddle.com. But before we do that, I am Luke Patterson. Join with me as always, Thomas Hall. We are MHI, where you can catch us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. Tom, busy day in Broncos country. How we doing?
Doing great, man. I'm excited for football, excited for the Broncos to be playing again, finally, but with a lot more hope than we've had for a long time. So it's I'm ready to see this first preseason game coming up.
Preseason game number 1, and everybody wants to know how many reps are the starters going to get? What are the competition battles? Are we going to see any turnovers, right? It sometimes feels like an election in training camp. What do I mean by that? Well, just because you were the starter last year does not mean as the incumbent you have the right to start this year. I know. The veterans on the unofficial depth chart have everybody fired up, asking what about the rookies? We're going to get into Sean Payton's comments and more, and you can read about those over at milehighhuddle.com. But before we do, head on over to X, give Tom a follow at Thomas Hall NFL. Yours truly at Luke Patterson LP. Head on over to the mothership at Mile High Huddle and follow this pod at MHI_pod. Tom, here we go. Off to the races. The unofficial depth chart is officially out. Came out this afternoon. And I think the very first thing I saw is from one of the best sources out there. The only source I really trust. There are a few, but Adam Schefter's one of the good ones, right? He's a guy near and dear to Broncos country's heart. Came up here in the Mile High City. Adam Schefter's tweeting, man, Quadzilla. Broncos' new second-round rookie running back is buried at the bottom of the depth chart. What was your reaction, Thomas Hall?
Well, I was disappointed a little bit, not because not that I think he's actually the 6th best running back, but it would be nice for them to do it for real. Like, this is where they're actually slotted in. And I know all the rookies are buried. That's just how they're doing it. But from my perspective and from a fan's perspective, I'd like to see where they kind of sit right now, because it's nice to know. It's nice to know where your favorite rookies, how they're doing, where they're at on that depth chart. Are they going to get more playing time? So to me, it was a little bit anticlimactic when it came out. When it comes to the rookies, for sure, just burying them all, and especially Barron, who Harvey, who's going to get a bulk of the carries. He is in the season. He's not really buried on the depth chart.
No, especially he's just one day removed from a beautiful route. I didn't get a chance to study it quite. It was a little wheel route or something where he toasts a linebacker up the seam there. I mean, that's nice. You like to see that. And it's practice. Yeah, it's a drill. Those linebackers usually get shook in those drills. Tom, we've been watching them for years. But still, it's nice to see Mike Thompson weigh in here on MHI. Barron is last. Luke, your concerns? Well, that's just it, Mike. It's silly, man. And Tom and I were talking about this. Quick peek behind the curtain. We love this team. We love football. All we do is talk about the Broncos, even before the show starts. And Tom and I are kicking around the ball. We're talking a little bit. And it's like, silly rookie nonsense from Sean Payton, eh? And you can read about that over at milehighhuddle.com. Zach's got an article up right now. And Sean Payton said point blank, if you're wondering about the rookies, it's team policy per head coach Sean Payton. They're placed, quote, back of the line because it is, quote, easy and there isn't a lot of thought. Coach let his feelings be known, especially last summer. He did not like having to be told when he has to do something and how to do it. This is one of those things. The unofficial depth chart, Sean Payton kind of gives the middle finger to the league, saying, I'm not letting anybody know where I have my rookies. They can go to the very last place, including Broncos first-round cornerback, Jahdae Barrett.
Yeah, and it bothers me because I get it. First round guy, he's not last on the chart either. Second round guy, no. Third round guy, that's when you start to wonder, okay, how have they been doing in camp? Like fans that don't get to be at training camp, when that depth chart comes out, it's always good to kind of see where the rookies are, and then to see, some of the later round rookies that, the late round gems, are they gems or are they not? Where are they going to land? Like my guy, Savion Jones, he's buried on the depth chart too, but I was interested to see just how good he was. And I'm not going to see that until the preseason game and probably into the regular season before we really know for sure where he really is on the depth chart.
Speaking of depth chart, our good friend David Yonkin, he's at the very top of our depth chart, always weighing in, very generous with his time here on MHI. We appreciate you, David. Who's winning the quarterback battle? Just kidding. And that's exactly where I went with Tom. I said, it's funny. My memory's a little hazy. I'm getting older, right, Tom? A few gray hairs in the beard these days. If memory serves, Bo Nix was not buried on the back of the depth chart in 2024. That's right. The same Bo Nix who is confident, cool, in command, and is mastering this offense. He was your rookie passing leader, surpassing Jaden Daniels, everybody. Chad Jensen loves to remind you of that because we all love Jaden Daniels, but perhaps Bo Nix is not getting the respect that he deserves. Tom, I don't know if you got to see this. Bo Nix released, or his team, I don't know who did it, a short 9-minute video talking about kind of his behind-the-scenes work. I took a peek at it today. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you had a chance to look at it? I
haven't seen the whole thing.
I absolutely loved it. Maybe it's the old man in me now, but I immediately went to my daughter, and who's an athlete, right, a student athlete, and I'm like, here, you got to look at this. It's just incredible to see the way that Bo works. I'm almost sure that the Denver Broncos or Bo's agent, someone put him up to this because Bo Nix does not like the camera in his face. You can tell he just wanted to get his work in and get out.
Yeah, and I've been saying all offseason that the way he goes about his business, the hard work that he puts in, and that's another thing that just kind of illustrates that when people start talking about he's going to have a sophomore slump and people are going to catch up to him. No, he puts the work in. He goes out there, obviously, every day goes about his business the right way and puts in the work. And that's to me is why I think he's going to have even a better season this year. One of the reasons, because he's just went out and got himself better in the offense, make himself a better quarterback, more of a pro quarterback, and it's going to play out on the field this year.
I love our mission statement here at Mile High Huddle, right? Broncos country is not a geographical location. It truly is a state of being. And we have one of Broncos country in South Florida. Alyssa, thank you for weighing in here on MHI. Look, this keeps the pressure off of the rookies. And that's just it. Maybe the public pressure, because if you're Sean Payton, if you're a guy playing on Sean Payton's team, can you imagine the pressure that man puts you under? Part of me wondered when I was watching the Bo Nix workout video, the little 9-minute video where he talks about what it takes to be a quarterback, what it takes to be a pro, and showing you how he leads his summer dog days in July when nobody's watching, when he doesn't have an entourage. It's him and a trainer. I'm thinking, I wonder if Sean wants to know what Bo's doing. And they're sending film of Bo to Sean, right? He's got his Broncos bag. It's just, I love it, man. It's super exciting. I think there's something to it. There is nothing that's more pressure-filled than a Sean Payton meeting room, film room, or practice field. If you can survive that, then you're likely to be a starter and have a career in the National Football League.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very demanding coach, and he demands that perfection. And, you have to be, because he's got a very complex offense. So you've got to put the work in. You can't be going home with blank videotapes and not watching them. Coming back and saying that you did. So if you remember the Jamarcus Russell story where he just wasn't putting the work in, but so he's demanding and it shows. I mean, the team overachieved last year, and part of that is because he was demanding more than the past coaches have of this Broncos team.
And I think Bo Nix is on his way to being demanding like that. You got to earn it. And I think Bo realizes that. Sean has those pelts on the wall. And everybody gets after Sean. Oh, Sean Payton only has 1 Super Bowl ring. That's pretty damn good. Even Aaron Rodgers, right? The guy's a complete nut. He's got a Super Bowl ring, or he's a world champion. You can't take that away from these guys. They do have some pelts on the wall. Now, it's not a license to be at your position for the rest of your career. Sean needs to continue to earn it and earn that respect, and it comes through wins. Todd Ostendorf coming in over on YouTube. What is up, Todd? Hopefully you and yours are doing well. Dre Greenlaw hurt. Singleton hurt. Who is playing inside linebacker?
Lavelle Bailey, for one. He's been lighting it up out there and playing great. So he's definitely going to be slotted in if Greenlaw and Singleton aren't going to go out there and play in this game. So you'll see him probably be the starter. And then, after that, probably Sternad at this point. He's probably going to be the incumbent to jump in there and take some snaps. But then you're going to see probably a mix of a lot of young guys getting out there playing linebacker.
Yeah, listen, I'm still reeling from the Drew Sanders injury. I'm pissed about it, Tom. I talk about it on this show all the time. I am so sick of the Broncos projects. What do I mean by projects on defense? Let's convert edge rushers to linebackers and linebackers to edge rushers and flip-flop them every other year. Then these injuries happen. I mean, I think I saw Justin Hollins signed today. Remember that name with the Buffalo Bills? You should, Broncos country. He was drafted here in Denver, 3rd, 4th round, if memory serves. Yeah, he's went on and have a career. That's not to say that the Broncos were better off without him or they really needed him, but these conversions are just, they're not working in Denver. You need to draft the guy to his profile, to his position. When it comes to Dre Greenlaw, Tom, you know it. I love this man. This man is going to change the identity of an already top 5 Denver defense. He's mean. He's pissed off. And you know what, Tom? He was never wanted. I didn't realize that till I heard him speak into the microphone. All right. An adopted young man. He talked about how it mattered when Sean Payton said, I want you. We need you here in Denver. And it was genuine. I think Dre Greenlaw plays with his heart on his pads, quite literally, but you got to stay healthy. It's really tough when you look at Dre Greenlaw having lower body issues, returning to camp, veteran rest days. You just hope that the guy can be ready to go come game season number 1.
Yeah, I hope so too, because they need him, and Singleton as well. I mean, I really like Bailey. I think he's going to push him for that starting role, but it would be nice to have 2 seasoned veterans to start the season at that linebacker spot and really kind of set the tone for the rest of the year.
I completely agree, man. It's one of these things talking about setting tone. That's a Dre Greenlaw guy, right? This is a Bo Nix. These are the captains of your offense and of your defense, presumably. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, too. Cortland Sutton's always in that mix, right? We were just talking about Cortland Sutton getting paid a 4-year, $92 million contract extension. Whew. And then Big Cat Zach Allen was right behind him. Tom, it's been cool listening to the Mile High Huddle staff this last week digest that 4-year, $102 million contract extension. The guy had a career season. 8.5 sacks, 61 tackles, 2nd team All-Pro. He absolutely deserved it. Zach Allen, talk to me. 4 years, 102 mil. Was it worth it?
Yeah, because he's still in his prime. I mean, he's really kind of hitting that age where defensive tackles, defensive linemen really start to take off for the next 3 or 4 years. And so I would say last year was kind of the beginning of that. He's got 2 or 3 more good years on his deal, and it's going to start to wind down when he starts to wind down, really. I know that they can play a little bit longer, but that's the prime year. So getting him signed, it's a good deal. I mean, he got a lot of money, but for his talent and what he showed last year and what he's going to show the next couple of years, I think it's a pretty good deal. It's a lot of money. But, looking at the quarterback hits from last year and the sacks, I think he's a wrecking crew on that defense. He's very much needed. If you didn't have him, if there was some disgruntledness or you let him walk next year, that defense would take a huge hit.
Boom. Speaking of taking a huge hit, how about hitting us up? What's up, Alyssa? Let's welcome Alyssa to the Mile High Huddle community, repping Broncos country out of South Florida. Luke, what does your daughter play? Volleyball. She's the absolute volleyball bug. And I don't care what sport you play. If you've got kids, go check out the 9-minute Bo Nix workout video. Well, I forget what it is called. I got to find out what it was called. Maybe our lovely producer can look that up for me. It's just one of those things for me, man, where I think Bo Nix is such an authentic guy. And to hear him and see him doing the work, and he talks about it. Nobody wants the in-between. That's what it's called. Bo Nix, the in-between. Huge thank you to Mr. Producer Man on the ones and twos. Huge thank you. The in-between. Nobody wants to see how the sausage is made. You just want to get to enjoy it, right? And get to the end of the process. But I loved that Bo talked specifically about we'll know if it was a good offseason come the regular season. Talking about how choice is sometimes an illusion. I mean, wow, at such a young age, this young man has an old soul. And let's see if we could get a quick clip of one Bo Chapman Nix. Technical difficulties. 1 2 1 2. But here's the thing, man. I don't care if you're a volleyball player, a softball player, basketball player, if you don't play any sport, if you're in choir, if you're in band, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, there's some level of competition even within you. There's some level of drive. So when I saw that Bo Nix, the in-between, I immediately wanted to go to my young athlete, my daughter, and say, look, this is a guy saying no one wants to be out here in July, but we've got an option. Do we want to waste the rep or do we want to make the most of it? So I don't care if you're a volleyball player, basketball player, like I said, baseball player, whatever you do. I think it's pretty cool to see the next generation have such a mature aspect to him. He's wise behind his ears, or beyond his years rather. And it made me excited, man. And I went through the comments, right? And I could see people, season ticket holders that we're going to see out there at the meet and greet, right? Saying, man, I haven't been this fired up for a Broncos season in a long time. And can you blame them, Tom? You've got Peyton frickin' Manning talking about the Denver Broncos and saying, quote, there's reason to be excited. You've got Coach Sean Payton talking Super Bowl to Albert Breer. Man, expectations couldn't be higher for this year. And I'm going to say this, and then, Tom, I'm going to let you respond. Since when is having expectations for a Super Bowl in the Mile High City a bad thing? Do we want to be the quarterback carousel? Do we want to be the head coaching carousel? Do we want to go down the list of failed quarterbacks? No, we are moving forward. This is the expectation. No one saw the playoffs coming in 2024 with Bo Nix. Nobody. Nobody's going to see the Broncos coming to make a deep run in the playoffs here in 2025.
Yeah, and that's the goal. That should always be the goal, and it was under Pat Bowlen. So it was Super Bowl or bust every year, and he went out and helped facilitate that team so that they could make that their goal. And then, for several years after 2015, you could see it was shambles. Nobody seemed to have that kind of goal, and it showed out there on the field. They were a losing team, but turn around. Now you've got a good coach, you got a good ownership, you've got a franchise quarterback. It should be the goal. Even if you are just 1 year removed from a losing season, if you have those three things, you should have that goal. If you have a franchise quarterback, a good head coach, and great ownership, you should be making that your goal every season. I don't see what's wrong with it. And if they fall short, they fall short. But that's the ultimate goal in this NFL league. And if you don't have it, you're just a perennial loser.
Perennial loser, something we do not expect Bo Nix to be. Diablo Bronco coming in. Great video from Bo Nix. He's a bona fide athlete. And again, the video we are referencing.
Being so tired. But that was also when I was the fastest I've ever been. So every offseason I like to train on a track. It makes me feel fast. But it also kills me at the same time.
I was actually talking with Cortland Sutton about this during a game. It was end of a game. It was kind of a tight game, and we kind of needed a drive. We needed to go score. And we were talking to each other, and I told him I may be a psychopath, but I love these kind of moments. I love when you don't have any other choice. You have to go down and score.
A psychopath. Your Denver Broncos QB1 is addicted to hard work. Reminds you of anyone, Tom?
Yeah, Peyton Manning comes to mind. He was a very hard worker, and he was always perfecting his craft. So absolutely.
Many thanks, Chad. Appreciate you pulling up that video. Yeah, and speaking of Peyton Manning, here we go. He said, quote, when you look at this team with Bo, the pieces they've added, and with all of us expecting Sean to be around for a long time, they have every reason to believe it can result in a lot of wins, but they have to stay healthy. Then you got Sean Payton. We'll get to his comments. Speaking to Yahoo, speaking to SI, we'll talk all that and more. But before we do, let's get up to caught up to some super chats, including our good friend Phil McLaughlin over on Facebook with those Facebook stars. We appreciate all the donations. Good evening, Thomas, Luke, and Deacon Scott. How much do the vets play in the preseason, and how many plays do the rookies get?
Well, I don't think the vets are going to play as much as we saw last year because I think they've established themselves on this team. And there's not a lot of learning that's necessary in the preseason where a lot of these starters or people that would play a big role had a lot of learning to do. So you had Valet was young, you had Bo Nix, as a rookie, you had several positions that needed a little bit of extra playing time. And you want to kind of have that with the players that they're going to be playing with. But this year, I think everybody's pretty much established in the offense, in the defense. They know what's going on. I think you're going to see less playing time for the vets, but you'll see some, but less. And as they go into the regular season, just trying to keep them healthy, I think you're going to get a lot of playing time out of the rookies, though.
Big expectations are coming here in 2025. Jerron Washington weighing in over on YouTube. What's up, man? Thank you so much for joining MHI on your Wednesday nights. I only see us losing 4 games. The Eagles, Commanders, Chargers, and Texans. Wow. Man, 4 games. Wow.
Sweep of the Chiefs.
A hell of a season. Right. That is a hell of a season for the Denver Broncos. And speaking of those Chargers, Jerron, Broncos country, Tom, sure y'all saw it. Keenan Allen is officially back in Los Angeles with the Chargers. Justin Herbert. Tom, talk to me. This AFC West is loaded with talent.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough go to whoever wins the division. And like I've always said, if you go 4-2 in the division, you probably win this one, especially this year, because they're going to beat up on each other. Someone who can get a sweep and beat at least one time everybody else in the division is going to take this AFC West. But it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy because the Chargers, they're no pushover. You got a good coach, good quarterback, pretty solid team. Chiefs are the Chiefs. I know that everybody's kind of predicting their downfall. You got a Hall of Fame coach and elite quarterback. That's that's good enough to win many games in this league. So we'll see how it plays out. But when they're done, whoever comes out on top is going to be battle tested for that playoff run.
Speaking of being battle tested, our guy Mike over in Keogh coming in here. He is always battle tested with the heat down there in Arizona. Thinking about you, Michael. I don't know how you do it, man. Working outdoors every day. Good evening, Thomas and Luke on the Mile High Insiders. Go Bo Broncos. And Mike has his the Ronk, I should say, has his number 10 blue jersey ready to go, the white jersey ready, orange ready. We're ready to go. And let us know which Broncos jersey you are ready to rock this season. How many do you have? Do you have superstitions? Let us know over in the chat. We will get out and get to you. Tom, do you remember a couple weeks ago I asked you, man, I'm sometimes a sucker for sayings, for mottos, little things like that. It's the inner child in me. And I asked you, what do you think a Sean Payton saying would be? Well, I don't know if he spit this into the microphone, but I've noticed it watching players come up to the mic. A lot of his Bronco players are wearing shirts that say "Earn It" on there. And I'm wondering if that is the collective buy-in for the Denver Broncos in 2025. You want to be a champion? You want respect? You want your due? 2 words: earn it.
Yeah. And it should be. I mean, because they haven't won anything yet. It's been a long time since they won the Super Bowl. It's been a long time since they've been really playoff contenders consistently. So they went last year. There's still more work to do. And they've got to earn that respect. They've got to beat the Chiefs in order to take this AFC West. They've got to earn that, and so I'm happy if that's their motto, that's what it is, because you got to earn your place on the team. You got to earn those wins, and you got to earn those playoff victories, and ultimately earn that championship. So I'm 100% behind it.
I feel like I've heard this. Is this true? Bo Nix doesn't curse at all. He's like Phillip Rivers.
Huh. I don't know.
Right? Wasn't that Phil? Gosh, dang it. He is not like Phillip Rivers. He does not have 125 children that he is getting ready to farm out Gummit. There we go. Chad Gummit. That was one that instantly came to mind. Yeah, I don't know, man. I like Bo. Bo's who he is. I was even noticing the other day, right? You just notice things. He wears like the old man shorts, right? Like the old NBA, like 1980s, where they're halfway up your thigh. Bo doesn't care, man. Bo is himself, and I love it. And I think the Broncos have themselves a good one. Tom, I'm a little suspicious, right? And why am I a little suspicious? Because the national media, I think, has been overwhelmingly positive towards the Broncos here in 2025. Yeah, you've got a few nut jobs like the Nick Wrights of the world, right? And we talk about the Yahoos over on ESPN until we're blue in the face. But you got a lot of folks visiting Broncos camp, Albert Breer, Yahoo. You've got all these different national medias, Chase Daniel of the world, right? Going down there, walking away impressed with what Sean Payton, Vance Joseph, and the Denver Broncos are building. What's going on, Tom? What's different here in 2025?
Well, I mean, people that aren't haters, people that aren't biased, that actually can look at something objectively, are seeing a great defense in the making. Obviously, they have to go out there and earn it, but they were a really good defense last year, and they got better. They've got a second-year rookie quarterback who looks like the guy, the franchise guy, and they got better in the spots that they really needed to get better in. They had to go out and get a running back situation that was better than last year. They did that. They had to get a tight end who could actually make something happen. They went out and got a tight end that could make happen.
I'm going to stop you right there. How do we automatically know that the running back room has been improved? This is a paper tiger, Tom. Right now, your prized running back, as it sits today, I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. This is reality, Tom. Listen up. As it sits today, your guy, Quadzilla, the second-round running back that Sean Payton just had to have, traded down, twice? 5, 10, 15 times to go get this guy. He is at the bottom of the barrel today. And you're telling me that the running back room is instantly improved? I don't know, Tom. J.K. Dobbins, it's a nice piece, but are we saying this is the next Baltimore Ravens backfield here?
Well, what I'm going to tell you is it has to get better because it can't get much worse than last year. Last year was really, really bad. You had your quarterback as the leading rusher. So it has to be improved. And I know Harvey's buried on the depth chart, but that's a technicality. You see him. If you go out there and you watch him run, he's definitely not the worst running back on the team. J.K. Dobbins his problem is staying healthy. So if he can stay healthy, when you look at it on paper, and that's all you can look at right now, unless you're out there at training camp really watching it. So you got better at the spots you needed to get better at. So if you're an objective observer, you're not a super fan of the Broncos, or you're not a hater, you're going to come away impressed with what they've done to this team. Now, can that not happen? Can there be some bad luck in the season and they don't fulfill their, what they really want to do? Sure. But when you're starting out looking at this team from an objective point of view, they've gotten much better. And they went to the playoffs and they lost in the playoffs, but no one expected that. So that's why I think the national media is kind of jumping on the bus right now, because they know really what's up. They can see it with their own eyes if they have any objectability whatsoever.
Speaking about being objective, Tom, I'm trying to do it. The season's around the corner, so it's time to buckle up a little bit and lock down, so to speak. I don't know if you saw it. Your guy, Luke Wattenberg, was at the podium the other day, right? This Luke on Luke crime usually here on Wednesday nights here on MHI, but I'm not going to do it this season. I am willing to give Luke Wattenberg another shot. Why? Because Sean Payton refuses to go any other route. Listen, Sean gave a ton of credit to Luke Wattenberg, and you can read about it over at milehighhuddle.com. I can't remember if it's Eric, Chad, or Zach has an article up on it right now. I was reading it this morning. It's encouraging to hear Coach talk about how much more confident Luke Wattenberg is, how intelligent he is as a center. It's encouraging to hear Luke Wattenberg talk about his hat placement in drills. getting better leverage, understanding the playbook, talking about the guys next to him. That's one thing he continued to bring up. And that's one thing that's going to go very well in the offensive line room, right? Talking about how well and comfortable you feel with your guys. He's flanked by some monsters in Quinn Miners and Ben Powers. You got Mike McGlinchey and Garrett Bowles. Tom, you've said it before, this Broncos offensive line, one of the highest rated offensive lines in the NFL. What do you expect out of Luke Wattenberg? This is a contract year for the guy. Make or break year if you want to be here for Sean Payton's Denver Broncos offense playing with Bo Nix.
Well, just when the centers start to get good, they seem to let him sign elsewhere. So the last time it was Cushenberry finally came into his own, and then he was gone the next year. Paradis was a pretty good player, and then he was gone pretty soon after. So if you follow along that course, you should expect Wattenberg to be good this year, only to sign elsewhere. But the fact of the matter is, he was still a young player. He didn't get that much playing time. Now he's got a full year under his belt. The same offensive line is all together again. If he wasn't better this year, then I would be extremely disappointed. He should be better. Now, is he going to be an all-pro better? I doubt it. But is he going to be improved and this offensive line is going to be better because of it? I absolutely see that.
Listen, PFF guy can get at me, bro, over on X, right, or everything else. Luke Wattenberg was the blank rated, blah, 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 and only gave up this many sacks and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. PFF is a very nice resource, and I'm willing to hear that argument. But you can't tell me when you turn on the tape, when you chart the plays, when you look at the Broncos' interior offensive line. And I'll be the first to tell you, Tom, I'm not a QB guru. I don't hold passing academies. I'm not going to make your son a college quarterback. None of those things. But I love to study the trenches, and I love to look at LB's O-line and D-line. And when I saw Luke Wattenberg playing last year, I saw a struggling player, and maybe confidence was a huge part of that, settling into Sean Payton's offense a little bit more. Talked about not having a competition where he's looking over his shoulder trying to figure out if he's going to be benched or cut. All right? I mean, there's something to that. I get it. So I'm willing to give Luke Wattenberg another shot. I'm definitely trying still to let last year go at Arrowhead. I put that on Luke Wattenberg a lot, right? That mishap on the field goal unit in Arrowhead that would have snapped the losing streak in Kansas City. It's onwards and upwards with this Broncos offensive line. Tom, talk to me a little bit about preseason game number 1, Broncos 49ers. What do you expect in this preseason game? Because when I look at the on paper storylines, right, and I'm getting very excited for the upcoming season, that's usually when we get keys to victory, takeaways, studs and duds, risers, fallers, all kinds of fun content that you can get exclusively here at milehighhuddle.com. There are some interesting storylines, but I don't know how they'll play out. You've got a lot of 49ers, former 49ers with the Broncos returning to the Bay. And I'm talking about Hufanga, Greenlaw, McGlinchey, DJ Jones. I mean, these are just 4 or 5 guys that used to be San Francisco. Preseason game number 1. Do they get up for it? Do they play?
I'm not going to expect Greenlaw to play. I think he'll probably be resting. If the rest of them play a little, it's going to be very short in that first preseason game. What I really expect is a little bit of starter play, and then they're going to play folks a lot that they may be thinking about trading. And I'm talking about a name like Damari Mathis. He's going to get a lot of playing time in that game. Some folks that they're like, let's see what he can do out there, get some teams interested, because that's a logjam there at cornerback. So do they get something for Mathis? Folks like that. And I think that's why he's second on the depth chart too, because he's an okay player, but can he be that kind of last of the trade, preseason guys like we've seen the last couple of years, where we saw Tim Patrick getting traded, and there was someone else I can't remember now off the top of my head, but getting traded at the last minute. Trinity Benson, maybe he's that guy. So I think you're going to see a lot of those kind of why is he playing so much type of people, but that might be why.
So Todd's coming in. Trade Damari Mathis for an inside linebacker.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And everybody coming at me. I thought it was Alex Forsythe. Yeah, it was Alex Forsythe on the block field goal. You were right, and I was wrong and mistaken about that. However, remember in that same series, in that same sequence, wasn't it Luke Wattenberg picked up a penalty or two? right? Made things just a little bit more difficult for your rookie quarterback in Arrowhead. Same series. Go back and look it up. I do apologize. I appreciate Broncos country. You got to stay on me, folks. I'm been a little bit out of it. Some interesting things happening over here in my neck of the woods. But I really, really appreciate everybody, Broncos country. Again, man, the most knowledgeable fan base in the NFL. They keep us on our toes every Wednesday night. We are reacting to the unofficial depth chart. We can talk Sean Payton's bold predictions for 2025. How about this, Tom? You can read about this over at milehighhuddle.com. Sean Payton's quotes are making waves all throughout the NFL. You can read about the extra, read all about it. Just type Sean Payton into the Google machine, and you're going to come up with this stuff. He told SI's Albert Breer, quote, I honestly think Bo Nix is going to be one of the top quarterbacks within the next 2 years. He's going to be a superstar. Turn that around. Goes right on over to Yahoo, doubles down, says, quote, this is a team capable of winning the Super Bowl. I've coached 6 teams that I thought could win the Super Bowl. Some went to championship games, some to the playoffs. This is my 7th team that I think has that. Tom, what was the missing link? You talk about running back. Yes, running back needs to improve immensely. So does the running game as a whole. So you take pressure off of Bo Nix. How much do you think the wide receivers have changed Sean Payton's offense? How much do you think they've changed the identity of the passing game? How are they going to help Bo Nix? Because Eric broke it down in an article today over at milehighhuddle.com, asking the question, who are going to be the odd men out in the wide receiver room? First 5 or 6 are pretty well set, right? You've got the Cortland Suttons of the world, Marvin Mims, Devon Bailey, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant having a very good training camp. Then you've got Newton, Rowan, Bandy, Jackson, Davis, all these lesser-known guys who are fighting like hell to make this roster and or practice squad.
Yeah, and Bandy, from what I understand, is having a heck of a training camp too. So you've got people out there who are playing hard because they know that this is a good team and they're going to have a hard time making it. And that's why they're out there playing really hard. Whereas, go back 4 years, you didn't have a lot of talent on this team, and it was a little bit easier for some of these folks who weren't as good to make the team, and it showed up on the field with losses. But that's not the case this year. And when you hear Sean Payton talk about that Super Bowl, and you asked me a question, what was the missing link? He said it before. Bo Nix is a better quarterback. He is their franchise guy. He believes in him, and that's why he believes that they're a Super Bowl contender. If he didn't have a quarterback, he wouldn't be saying that. So I think that is what it is. He saw what he could do as a rookie. He knows how hard he's worked. He's watched him in training camp. He's gotten better. That's why he's saying those things, because he thinks he has that elite quarterback. And I don't think he's just saying that because he drafted him in the first round. I think he really believes it, because he wouldn't be out there saying it, in my mind, if he didn't think that. So that's one. And number 2, I think he believes that there's somebody else on the offense that's going to make an impact. One of the wide receivers, like Mims, has gotten so much better, or maybe he thinks that the combination of Bryant and Dobbins is that kind of impact player that he wanted to have on this team that was kind of missing on the offense last year. So I think those are the 2 things that he's looking at that we may not have the knowledge of, that's giving him that confidence.
Well, and how about Troy Franklin, who's putting together a very good training camp in his own right? I mean, it's nice problems to have. When you look at the new wide receiver room for your Denver Broncos, it's exciting. There's been a lot of change, and there's a lot of fun action, I think, to happen in the preseason. This is where you see guys either make or break their preseason / training camps. And it's going to be really, really fun to see preseason game number 1 on Saturday. Broncos heading to face the Bang Bang Niner gang out in the Bay Area of San Francisco. Gene William coming in over on Facebook. What is up, Gene? Thank you so much for all the support. Appreciate you. What's up, man? I can't hang out, but I had to drop in and say, what is up? Go Broncos. It's that time of year, my friends. Football is back in the Mile High City, Broncos country. We are going to take you through an exciting season here at Mile High Huddle. We have a lot of fun content planned, especially for this show here on MHI every Wednesday night. We're going to be using some fun new tools, including gridironintelligence.com. Head on over, check it out, and get at us. The Ronk coming back around over on Facebook. Appreciate you, Big Mike. I read that the San Francisco 49ers players are playing a little bit hurt because their training camp has been practicing just a little bit too hard. That's interesting. A tough Shanahan training camp. Where does that sound familiar? Sometimes it's fortune too, right, Mike? I mean, the Broncos have been part of that, Tom. You and I have been there on days where I was there both days. Tim Patrick went down almost a year ago to the date, right? And it's eerie. Sometimes it's bad luck. It's not like there was anything wrong with the grass, right? It's not like the maintenance keepers over there weren't doing their job. Sometimes you just get snake bitten a little bit, and I don't know. I'm a little worried, Tom. Things have been going relatively okay over there at Broncos HQ. I know our linebacker room's a little banged up right now, but hey, so far as it sits, August 6th, things are looking healthy for Denver.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has to continue because that's the greatest equalizer in the NFL. You got a great team, but if you're unhealthy, then you're not going anywhere. And a lesser team will beat you. So let's hope that they stay healthy, and they have been relatively healthy. They've now taken some chances on some folks who haven't been able to stay healthy through their careers. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about training camp and preseason and just the balance that you have to have with pushing them hard enough, but not too hard so that they start to get injuries. It's one of those things that you've got to be really mindful of and actually really experienced with, I think, in order to make that happen correctly.
Speaking of experience, let's talk about some players that we want to see play on Saturday. Get some experience, get some valuable reps. I'm looking at one of your guys, Tom. How about you? You called it earlier. I'll give you a little credit. I see you beating your chest over there on X like you love to do, right? Awuzurike, you were high on that, man. This is the time for a preseason game. No better chance to get your stride back, get your game back a little bit than in some preseason action. What do you expect out of Awuzurike, who's having a pretty decent camp?
I would like to see him being able to slide around all over the line because that's going to get that. Yeah, if he's going to be able to play the nose and both ends, I think that's going to solidify his spot. I mean, I know they like him. I know that they like his size, they like his athleticism. They've kept him around. So, but if he can show that he can line up anywhere, I think that solidifies his spot on the team and early into the rotation as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking for the most out of him on during the preseason game.
Oh, no. String guys coming in here, making this big head even bigger. Luke is the ultimate mile-high insider. Tell us who's going to win the wide receiver 2 battle coming out of training camp. Ooh, that's an interesting question, and I could be podcast radio guy and give you the standard answer. Look at the unofficial depth chart, string guy. It's clearly Marvin Mims. Well, wait a second. Not all wide receivers are created equal. Remember, that slot position has Marvin Mims' name all over it. I think Troy Franklin can play quite well in the slot as well. Even some of these younger guys, like we're talking about, a Newton, a Rowan, Bandy, the versatility at the wide receiver position has to be there if you're a Denver Broncos wideout. Sean Payton's going to command a variety of formations, a variety of motions. He's got these new little wrinkles that he's been working on all winter that you just know he wants to put together, and these young guys are expected to know it. A wide receiver 2, a true wide receiver 2. What does Devon Bailey look like in his sophomore season, right? Trailed off a little bit there in the season. We're all wondering. I know that he had some load management, but he came back in, right, to practice. So what does his preseason look like? You're going to try to get your stride back a little bit? Pat Bryant seems to be the heir apparent to Courtland Sutton. That is so painfully obvious to everybody in Broncos country. It's just exciting to be at this point, string guy, where we've got enough Broncos wide receivers to talk about having competitions, but they're different, right? You've got your shorter, faster guys, you've got your long string beans, and then you've got your big dogs, right? Like Courtland Sutton, a Devon Bailey, who I hope's been in the weight room. I need Devon Bailey to add weight desperately because I think he can get up there, get those 50-50 balls. But when you look at Courtland Sutton and his strength, that's something, Tom, that I think I overlook a lot of. What helps him win better than body placement, better than being a good basketball player? His strength. Courtland Sutton's upper body and lower body strength are phenomenal. I'm looking for that in one Pat Bryant as well.
Yeah, if I was going to jump in and say right now who I think is going to be the number 2 wide receiver throughout the season, it's Marvin Mims. I think that he has what this team needs as far as creating something that the other wide receivers have not been able to do or weren't really able to do last season. He's got that elusiveness. He's got the speed. He seems like he could create something big, but that hinges on, did he improve as he improved last year? Did he make even another step this season? That's why I'm going to go with Marvin Mims on that. I think he's your number 2, and you're going to see some fireworks out of him this year, more than you've seen. Obviously he's great on special teams. I'm talking about in the offense, you're going to see a much better Marvin Mims.
Tom, I've been thinking about you because I've missed some shows here this summer here on MHI, and I'm always eager to get back to you in Broncos country on Wednesday nights because we have a lot of fun here on this show, just like we do every show at 6 p.m. Mountain. I was thinking about you during the Hall of Fame. I was thinking about you specifically when Jared Allen ripped his pants. That may have been one of the best Hall of Fame speech moments of all time. I absolutely loved it. It was a fantastic speech as well. We don't need to go into it. But Hall of Fame game in the books, the Hall of Fame class in the books. Tom, I know you've got friends. You're very connected to getting Broncos into the Hall of Fame. You're very worthy cause. You're very humble about it, so I'll do the bragging for you. But I guess my first question for you, Tom, before we get to Todd, did you see Jared Allen rip his pants?
No, I didn't. I didn't see him rip his pants. Yeah, I was a little bit more checked out on this Hall of Fame. One, because there was, Broncos got snubbed this time, and there wasn't anybody I was super excited about. So I kind of did some other things, unfortunately. I did think about going, though. I thought about going to the Hall of Fame,
Wow.
and just hanging out and doing it. But I think I will hopefully next year, and I hope the Broncos getting in. But no, I missed it. I missed the pants ripping.
It was a bummer, man. I loved watching Jared Allen the second he left the AFC West. I hated when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs because he raised a lot of hell, man. He was one of those try-hard players. I'll always kind of know him as the Minnesota Viking player that he was, right, between 08 and 13. I know he spent some time with the Bears and one last stint with the Panthers. But getting to Todd's question, this is where I'm circling back, right? I start thinking about former NFL greats. Made me think about the Hall of Fame ceremonies, the Hall of Fame game. All that fun stuff. Todd Ostendorf coming in here. Better sophomore year. John Elway, Peyton Manning, or Bo Chapman Nix?
Well, Elway's rookie season was so bad that it was only up from there. I mean, Bo Nix had one of the best rookie seasons of all time if you start to look at his stats and things like that. So for me, Bo Nix will improve and it will look great. But the gap that Elway and Manning ended up having from their terrible seasons, I think is going to be a little bit better than the gap between Bo Nix's rookie season and his sophomore season. But Manning had he went from being a pretty crummy rookie, not awful, but he had a pretty rough season, to being an excellent quarterback, right away. And I would go from those. I'm going with Manning as the better sophomore year.
Man, touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Looks like the Duke of Denver, John Elway, put up 18 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Remember, stats don't tell the whole story. It's why we're not just married to one resource here at Mile High Huddle. We got them all over. And if you're looking for new stats, if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a new truth in the statistical analytic world, head on over to gridironintelligence.com. We're going to be using this. Tom's been working on this for many a moon, and it's going to be really exciting to see what his team rolls out. We will be utilizing it here on MHI and MHH. For me, let's think about this here. Elway, Manning, or Bo Nix. I don't even want to put Bo Nix in there. It's exciting, right? I know we alluded to, who does that sound like? A demanding quarterback that loves the work, right? It sounds like Peyton, and there are a lot of things that we can definitely describe similarities between these three. But to get in that conversation, you need to do some damage. And he had a very good rookie season. I truly think that Bo and Sean are cut from the same cloth. And Sean loves to remind everybody, whether it be in the Denver media, his players, fans, whoever he speaks to, last year is a wrap. No more. And the most reminiscent thing, the most similar thing that you will see this season to last year happened today. The unofficial depth chart. where you pretty much have the incumbents back at the starting position, pretending that rookies aren't here. Yeah, you've got some free agents, right? You've got the Hufungas, the Greenlaws of the world coming in here. You've got Evan Ingram, and we're going to get to the tight end room here in just a second, right? But when you look at the paper tiger today of the unofficial depth chart, that's it. It's the last remnants of 2024. It's a new season, and I truly believe that Bo, it's onward and upward. I don't think his ego will get in his way like some other second-year quarterbacks in Chicago who are going to have a huge problem and who are throwing hissy fits. How about that? Did you see that? You see your guy Caleb Williams out there throwing
My guy?
Yeah, it's your guy. You love him,
my
right?
guy.
I thought you said we're going to start painting nails on Wednesday nights for the honor of Caleb Williams. No, but your guy's throwing fits about horrible accuracy. And look, sometimes these drills suck and you catch a guy on a bad day, but throwing the little hissy fit that he did, man, talk about a bad look.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you got to have a mature quarterback who's, going to make it through some rough spots. And that was when we're talking about Caleb Williams, that's what I was worried about is can he make it through the rough times? We know he can make it through the good times, but can he make it through the rough times? I know Bo Nix can make it through the rough times because I saw him do it. He struggled the first 4 games terribly and just kept getting better and better. So
and he had a broken back at the end of the season, Tom, that nobody knew about, and he played through it.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what you're looking for in a quarterback. And I think that's what they got in Bo Nix. And yeah, I know that people are that had a grade on him coming out of college. Wasn't great. And they're kind of still sticking with that. But I think that's foolish. I mean, you got someone who's out there who showed that he can play this game, who's out there trying to get better, who's mature, who looks like he's got the command of the huddle and the command of his team. And I don't think you're seeing that from some of these other second-year quarterbacks. I could be wrong, but that's why I think when you're looking at this team, that's why I think you've got a lot of optimism is because of Bo Nix is a big reason in that.
Boys get figured out real quick in the NFL. Men lead football teams, and that's the biggest difference for me. And that's not a personal shot. That's just an opinion. And Bo's the man of this football team. You don't believe me? Ask his teammates. You go ask the head coach. You go ask the GM. You go ask the owners. Those guys are all going to tell you the company line. He's the best thing ever because they drafted him. You really want to know about the guy? Go ask his teammates when he has the respect of a Mike McGlinchey, when he has the respect and love and admiration of his offensive line, when he's bringing teammates with him to Denver Nuggets games, to Colorado Avalanche games. You see Bo Nix and his quarterbacks hanging out. This is a guy that this team loves. He's not only taking command of the offense, he's taking command of the locker room and this franchise. This is the Bo Nix train. People need to figure out if they want to jump on it or not. You and I jumped on this train as soon as he was drafted. I think a lot of folks did at Mile High Huddle. I don't know one stick in the mud over at MHH who's saying, man, that Bo Nix, because of his Oregon days or because of what happened at Auburn, I still don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's old stuff. I'm not making fun of Caleb Williams for being a little bit soft at USC. I'm making fun of him for being soft in training camp right now. So it's a little tough when you look at some of these things, but damn, I'm sure happy to have Bo Chapman Nix, just like I'm happy to have The Ronk always on Facebook. Bo Nix is more mature than Caleb Williams. It's about maturity. It's about intelligence. It's about how much you can handle. And Sean continues to shove and make Bo Nix's plate even fuller any chance he can get. Bo keeps answering the bell, man. He's Sean's guy. They're cut from the same cloth. I'm encouraged.
Yeah, absolutely. He has. And I think there's going to be a lot of people eating crow this year that are going to pretend like they weren't still down on him when he has a better season. So I can't wait to see it play out because I'm pretty confident that Bo Nix is going to be better in his sophomore season by a substantial amount than he was as a rookie.
Apparently, there are some Bo Nix critics, and I will be reaching out to them personally here on Manship to get after each other. It's fun to have a diverse opinion, right? Like, nobody needs to agree with absolutely everything. This is where we can disagree more than ever in life. Come to this show on Wednesday night, and we got some fun content coming up here. Don't want to spoil anything. We got some good ideas in the cooker, if you will, for MHI, but fun things coming. Really, really appreciate you, Ronk. let's talk about the Broncos tight ends, Tom. A dark horse candidate for camp that you had your eye on was Awuzurike. I had my eyes on this basketball player, Caleb Lohner, and he quite literally is a loner. He was Denver's last draft pick out of Utah. Had 50-plus snaps to his name coming out of Utah. An absolute project, showing a little bit of potential out there at Broncos training camp. And when coach is mentioning your name along with one Jimmy Graham, it's a hell of a start.
Yeah, I would like to see him out there in preseason. I mean, obviously, camp doesn't tell the whole story. When you've got the pads on and a different team going after you, I'd like to see what he can do in preseason. And I hope he gets a lot of playing time because he does have that raw potential that Awuzurike had. Why I keep talking about it. Why they kept Frank Crum around. He's got that raw potential. Now he just have to put it out on the field and make it happen. And that's where you're going to, if you can do it in preseason, I'm going to get on the bandwagon too.
Run It Back has been super active tonight. Appreciate you so much. I am so happy when Bo Nix got drafted. I was so happy when Bo Nix got drafted. It felt like he was the perfect fit and was the most consistent prospect. Me too, man. Our nightmare scenario, Tom, I don't want to speak for you, but I think as a show, we were both going to be extremely crushed, if not devastated, if the Broncos walked away from the first round without a quarterback. We desperately needed a quarterback. When you're desperate and you need a quarterback, doesn't always work out.
Right.
Out here in Broncos country so many times. It appears that things are working out with Bo Nix. It's nice to not have these conversations. Who's the starting quarterback's going to be? It's nice to not have the conversation of how many more chances is Sean Payton going to give Bo, or how long are the Walton Penner ownership team going to kick the can down the road with Sean? None of those questions are being answered. They've invested in each other in that building, and that's what's happening, and that's what's ultimately going to happen on Saturday night when the Broncos roll into the Bay. They've invested in their own team. They've invested in their diets, their workouts, their film study. They've sacrificed time away from their families, sitting in a hotel room. They're tired of being around each other. This is your chance. Go capture it. Go. I feel like Eminem, right? Go. Don't let it slip. Lose yourself, right? All that silly stuff. And Bo talked about that a little bit in his workout video. You'll know if the work was worth it at the very end.
Yeah, and you can tell the team's bought in. Like, I don't see anything is showing me that any of these players haven't bought into what's going on there in the Broncos organization. And when you have that, you got a good team. It does make for a boring offseason, though, when you've got your quarterback figured out, you've got your coach figured out, your ownership group, you got everybody bought in. They're not raising a ruckus or doing something.
Nobody's
stupid.
getting arrested or hurt.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a boring kind of offseason and training camp, but that all pays off. Like Bo Nix said, in the regular season, that's when people are going to, not be as bored when it comes to the Denver Broncos.
Scott always gets mad at me when I talk about, let's avoid the arrests and all that. He's like, well, you got to put the negative energy out there. That's because it's a part of life, right? And you see silly stuff like Shedeur Sanders speeding in early hours of July in a residential neighborhood, right? What's that do to your quarterback competition? Shedeur, who is going to start for the Browns, I guess. I don't know. They must believe over in Cleveland. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Let's talk about some former Broncos. Noah Fant to the Cincinnati Bengals. Tom, you and I talked about that before the show started. Interesting to see some of these cats still kicking around, including former Broncos defensive end and former Seattle Seahawk Draymond Jones signing with the Tennessee Titans. And then you've got former Broncos quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, Tom, who I don't know if you know, he came out of retirement where he won a high school football championship. Really, really cool study or story from one Teddy Bridgewater and the love he had for his players. Well, he's Tampa Bay Buccaneers not starting quarterback, but backup quarterback. I assume he'll be a starter for a preseason game or two. What do you make of some of these former Broncos landing in other places? Noah Fant to the Bengals, Teddy to the Bucs, Draymond to the Titans.
Well, it makes me think that they made the right decision because you got people bouncing around. You got Draymond Jones not really latching on anywhere. You got Noah Fant, too, same thing. It makes me think that the Broncos made the right decision. And when you look at the team, they actually did. Zach Allen turned out to be a better player than Draymond Jones. Obviously, Bo Nix is way better than Teddy Bridgewater. And then
I was worried. I was worried about the Draymond Jones, Zach Allen thing, Tom. I didn't see it
too.
at first. I shared my concerns. I was a big Draymond Jones guy, right?
Yeah.
And even bumping into him on my vacations in Glenwood Springs, all these sorts of things. I was a huge Draymond guy. And I was bummed when he went away. I did not see Zach Allen coming, man. Talk about making the right decision. I mean, Broncos got a huge upgrade and then some from going from Draymond to Zach. And Teddy was always a good locker guy, good guy when he was here in Denver. I wish Teddy Bridgewater nothing but the best, but I don't need him here in Denver.
Yeah. So, the Broncos have improved, and that's what's important for Broncos country, is to know that they've gotten a lot better, even though they've had some bumps in the road with the Russell Wilson disaster and trading off some of their guys. Right now, this team is better off with the guys they have than they would have been if they've kept some of those players around.
Speaking of keeping players around, one player the Broncos didn't keep around last year was one Broncos former wide receiver, Josh Reynolds. Taking a look at the news, and his name popped up. Last year, he was involved in a shooting. He was a victim of a shooting at a gentleman's club in Denver. Well, apparently, that was a case of mistaken identity, according to law enforcement. It sounds like a group of hoodlums, if you will, ripped off a cocaine dealer to the tune of $250,000, and Josh Reynolds and his guys just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and fell victims to a shooting that did not turn deadly. And just crazy, man, the way things work out in life. And I don't know, Tom, what's your reaction to Josh Reynolds in the case of mistaken identity? How many times have we all watched Cops, and it's always the guy saying, "No, it really wasn't me. This time that was the case."
Yeah. Man, that's a crazy story to get mixed up in something like that for no reason. It's just he's lucky that he survived. He could have been much worse. So yeah, lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, the Broncos are going to need all the luck they can get, staying away from the turf monster, the injuries this Saturday in San Francisco. It's always cool when the Broncos go back to San Francisco, as we are reminded of Super Bowl 50, the good old days, right? And doesn't seem like that long ago. Well, the 10-year reunion is this year, folks. It has been 10 years since the Broncos' last Lombardi trophy in 2015, your Super Bowl 50 champions. Broncos are heading back to the Bay. We're going back to Cali.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big day at the meet and greet when we're out there too. It's I think that's the same game that they're doing the Ring of Fame, if I remember correctly, getting DT, and it's kind of that celebration of Super Bowl 50. So it's a good time to be doing the meet and greet when you want to celebrate the Broncos from the past.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we always have a lot of fun with you, Broncos country, every Wednesday night here on MHI. Remember, you can catch us over on X, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You can always catch us after the fact. If you can't catch a live show, that's cool. iTunes, Spotify, we have your back with instant downloads. Stay tuned for an exciting season. Tom, another fun show, man. Appreciate you working with me during this crazy move. It's football season, man. We are locked in for the season here on MHI. A huge season ahead. Can't wait to see what game week brings next week, right? So we're into game weeks now, folks. I get it's the preseason, but Tom, I saw something. Roger Goodell took some shots at the NBA just quick on the way out. I don't know if you saw that. The NFL Hall of Fame game absolutely dominated in terms of viewership the average NBA playoff game. That's just how bad people are jonesing for NFL professional football.
Yeah. The NFL's the king. I mean, it just is. Their most watched games, the NFL draft, nobody does it. No other sport does it like the NFL when it comes to the draft.
No.
It's just it just dominates all the other sports because it's fun. I mean, there's so much involved. There's so much to like about the NFL that I can see why they dominate it. But I mean, I don't know why you're taking a shot at the NBA, but whatever.
Because I can. No, right? Because I can. There's only one shield, and sometimes Raj, every once in a while, someone's got to agree with him. It just happens to be me here on August 6th. Broncos country, we're going to catch you. Pearl Heater, thank you for a great pod. Broncos country, this is the way. Everybody, make sure you hit the like button and share. We appreciate everybody. Broncos country into preseason game number 1. San Francisco, this is the way.
This is the way.